Alright, so this week, as you can see, we're going to be having to give the hull a little bit of a wash there, doing some sanding, and then come back and wiping the whole hull down with some solvent. And then in the end, once we get all that done, we're going to start laying some fairing compound here, and you can get a little idea, get the whole bottom of it done and all the transom, and this is what it's going to wind up looking like in the end. We got the whole bottom, got the transom. But before we get to that, just a little bit of tribute to my buddy Tom Hawk. He was a great dude, and we lost him. So he'll always be the same. First video I ever did, we credited him with being the production team. So what happened here is, as I finished fiberglass in the bottom, which you saw in the last episode, because of the moisture in the air, and it was super foggy, super humid, whatever, and because I had changed epoxy, we created amine blush, which is actually, if you go to US Composites website, you can get this definition, which is the epoxy I'm using. It's basically when a faster cure epoxy cures in a real humid environment. When it cures, it off gases or whatever. It's basically comes off as the hull was totally discolored and had this waxy quality, and it was really waxy. So what they recommend is that you wash the surface down with warm water. I actually took a stiff bristle brush and scrubbed the whole hull from one end to the other, wiped it down with towels. Here you can see after I did all that, I'm sanding it down, and I'm being very methodical to make sure that I don't miss anything. You can see as I go through here, I work the bottom, then the chine, and then the side. So you can just see, being systematic with this, you make sure you don't bounce around and miss anything. So that's all I'm doing here. And once again, the recommendation is that you sand with like a 200 grit. And I'm not really trying to flatten anything. I'm just trying to rough the surface up, so to speak. So what I'm doing here is just going through the hull, and I'm sanding it, from one end to the other. I've actually pulled it out, and then I'm gonna this gives you an idea of what it's like. The cradle and all is on rollers, so that's all of my stock lumber that I'll need for the inside. I just store it up underneath the boat. I pulled it back up in here. And I was thinking all that salt, all that sanding dust, I was going to just vacuum off, and then it kind of really wasn't working because it was sticking down in the woven pattern of the glass. So what I decided was I was just going to push it right back out, even though that way I have that stored underneath there is pretty difficult to move the cradle. But so then I just pulled it right back out. I had the water hose there. You could see everything's soaking wet from the night before. Everything's wet. So I just took the water hose and washed all of that sanding dust off, and it worked out. It was pretty easy or whatever. The hose, I had to move it around a little bit, and then I just, after I finished rinsing the whole hull off, I go get me some fresh towels, and you'll see me just dry the whole hull off. I want to show this here, like keep this angle, and the camera kind of moved on me, but you can see, like when I go to pull the boat back in, you can see that you can kind of get a whole picture of what the glass and all looks like. And once again, this will be the last time you get to see it, because we're about to start putting some fairing compound down. But I think right here when I roll yeah, here it is. You can see, how well the glass and all looks. To me, it looks really good. That white piece down the center is actually where I just had some thickened epoxy, and those two little pieces there are where I had to kind of cut the glass so it wouldn't be crinkled or wrinkled as it laid over the hull. So here it is. Like I said, I'm just checking everything out. I think you get a better picture, but like when it cured, it was real white, kind of glossy, and like I said, it had a real waxy quality to it. So here it is. You can see that this is kind of taking a step. I'll come back and talk about this later, but that little notch spreader there is what I'll use to put this on. So I just went and got some acetone, and once again, in the recommendations from the epoxy manufacturer were to wash the hull with warm water, scrub it, sand it with 200 grit sandpaper, then come back and wipe it down with a clean rag and acetone. And I can tell you at this point, it's pretty surprising that the hull is fairly clean. I mean, it is fairly clean and smooth, and I hope that I'm pleasantly surprised when we go through this fairing process. But that's all I did there, is wipe it down. So here it is. I'm pulling some excess epoxy, a little draining. I'm gonna try and make I have two types of fairing compound. I have some total fair, and I also have some epoxy additive that would go with the epoxy that I have, and that's what you'll see me get a bucket of here in a second. But as you see me pulling out my epoxy from that heater box, it actually backfired on me. This is kind of the first screw up, and I've said I was going to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is a 3-to-1 medium cure epoxy, and I tried to mix a real small batch of it just to kind of see how it would go. And I say small, it's probably about 12-14 ounces of epoxy. So for that you would add 24 ounces of fairing agent. So that's what I have there, and then as I put it in there and I start mixing it up, it's just so thin. I felt like if I put it on the hull, it would start just like it would run, you know, like a paint that's too thin or whatever. So I added a little bit more fairing compound to it, and I really couldn't get it thick enough. And then I noticed as I was stirring it, it kept getting thinner and thinner. And what was happening was the epoxy was actually kicking off, and it was making it super thin. You can see me at some point here, like I say, I'm probably at about a 3-to-1 ratio with that drying stuff, and then I realized, oh God, yeah, this stuff cooked off, and it kicked, and that was a brand new bucket, and that basically that whole thing right there turned to stone. And I thought I took some pictures of it, but I didn't. So fortunately, I had some of this a gallon set of this total fair, and I broke it out. And once again, you basically use equal parts of part A and part B, the blue and the yellow, and then as you mix it, it comes off green. So it's really, really easy. You know, it's a little bit of a workout mixing it up. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So this is kind of one of those, the reason I was trying to use that epoxy was I could mechanically do it. So, and here it is. I just got that trowel, and I've actually taken a set of pinking shears, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. But all I'm trying to do here is much like if you were laying tile, where you use a notch trowel to put the grout on the floor or the wall or whatever. What I'm trying to do here is just pull a notched layer of that in there so that it will be more ridges. The ridges will be more pronounced, and then you'll come back and sand it, even though I'm probably going to sand 90% of this stuff off. But the whole point is once you do this, you should be pretty close to being ready to get to finish primer and stuff like that. So here, those pinking shears is just some stuff I got off of Amazon. You can see, and all I did is take the end of that little spreader there and just cut it, and it left what I would call like an 1/8 of an inch trowel spacing. So as I take that stuff and spread it, you can just see that it has little ridges in it, and it should make it easy to sand off, and it should give me a really, really good foundation. So after I apply all of this to the whole boat, then I will come back, and after I sand all this off, I'll come back and just lay a thin layer of that and sand that, and that should get me really, really close. Now I'm going to try and not get too obsessive about the actual bottom of the boat. I'm more focused basically from the chines up or the sides of the hull, because that's what you're going to see more often. I mean, the bottom is, yeah, I want it pretty and I want to do it right, but in the end, I want to use the boat, and I don't want to spend a month just trying to get the a mirror finish on the bottom of this boat. But I'm hoping that this process, even if I add a little bit more of a step, it will get me farther along in addressing any major issues that I have. I really don't have any. The biggest issues that I have will be right there along the center line, the center of the hull, the keel, where those pieces of fiberglass overlap on each side. And I'm hoping that this notched layer that I'm putting on here, this notched trowel layer, will help smooth that transition, kind of the first go around. So I've seen some other people do that. I've done some research, and once again, I've never done this before. I don't have any experience doing this part. So all I've done is I've researched the best I can. A lot of people don't do this, but I'm hoping that this saves me, or makes this first sanding easier to do, but also save me from having to do additional steps of fairing down the road. So we'll see how it works out. It's obviously it's done now, so we're going to see what happens. Back to this total fair, you could see, it's fairly easy to mix. I'm running this on time lapse because this took a little while to do. And here you can really see it. One tip to mixing this total fair is having a metal spreader or a metal, spreader's the only thing coming to mind right now. So I have a little plastic ones that I use for the blue, a separate one for the blue and a separate one for the yellow, and I put them on there side by side and try and get them the same size. But having that metal spreader or scraper, it's about 3 inches wide or whatever, having that makes it much easier, because that stuff is pretty viscous and thick. It's a little stiff to start with. It does loosen up once you start mixing it. And because I was just putting this on and I left it, I didn't really pay attention to how long it took for it to cure or how quickly I could get back on it. I can tell you that outside, as you can see, it's like the first week of January, and I'm out there with long pants. Then I could have been out there with shorts and a t-shirt. It's so warm and muggy and humid. It's pretty miserable. By and large, I'm sweating. But once again, it was a decent day to get out there and do this. At the end of this video, I'll show some bonus footage where I kind of got off the boat for a while and started hunting towards the early part in January, and made some hunts and stuff, and that's fun to share. What I was doing when I wasn't working on the boat. And I'll give you a little warning when it's coming up. You can watch it or you can click off of it. It's pretty interesting. I wouldn't share it if I didn't think it was pretty neat, and I'm pretty lucky to get to do this stuff, have some good friends to do it with. So once again, working on this boat. Hopefully now, as I get back kind of situated and get over hunting season, I've picked everything up, I've cleaned it all up, I've put it all away so that I'm not tempted to get back on it. And I'm hoping to, once again, at least a few days a week, be able to put in a few hours, a couple hours or whatever, if not, a full day here and there, to start and get this bottom finished up. I mean, I know I was trying to get it done by the end of January, but honestly, I barely even touched it. So I did figure out as I was doing this, especially along the center line of the keel where it gets a little pointy up here in the front, because when you're doing that fiberglass, you have to have a radius so everything can lay over nice and smooth. And I think eventually I want some little radius there on that cut water. It's probably the closest term I can think of. Where that's going to be, going against the water and the waves. But I started kind of spreading it on each side to kind of make a peak where I'll come back and sand one side and then sand the other, and it should give me a pretty decent point in there. And everything else that I've read, especially on the chines, where that chine transitions to the side of the hull and all, you want that, especially in the rear 2/3 of the boat, you want that as sharp as possible so that it helps your efficiency and helps to shed the water. And I don't know, I read a lot and research a lot, but there's a lot of data out there that says that's what you want. And then on the forward parts, you want just a little bit of a round on it to help the boat be quieter, at rest. Especially, I don't do any flats fishing in Florida or anything, where we're sneaking, where we're fishing in the marsh and stuff. There's really not any waves. It's all basically dead calm because it's all protected. But I would like to maybe get down there and do some of that. So I'm trying to build this as versatile as I can, and I keep talking about that in many ways, to just build the boat as versatile as I can. If I want to go down to Florida and go, never caught a permit or a snook, or I've never caught a tarpon, so stuff like that I like to go chase, or a bonefish or whatever. I want to be able to do that and have the best tool that I can, and have this be a true flats boat. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to just keep working on it. Hopefully get back to working on it. And you'll see here today, I'll give you a little hint that I actually wound up using all of that fairing compound. This is probably, I just dug out the bottom of it. It was so low in volume was left. I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and mix it all up. So with this one, I don't know, what a normal spread for this is, or if this notch trowel made it worse. I feel like it used more fairing compound than I otherwise would have, and I'm okay with that. And I know this stuff isn't cheap. It's not, but like I said, if it's a little bit more to save me some time and effort down the road, I'm taking the risk and taking the chance, especially since I couldn't get the other stuff to work. I'm gonna go back and try it again. but I'll certainly mix a much smaller batch than I did before. But yeah, I put all of this entire, you know, that's a 1 gallon kit, which is 2 half-gallon part A, part B's, or whatever. And as you can see, I did the entire bottom of the hull, the entire transom, and then we'll get a fair amount of that. I guess that will be the starboard side, or the one I'm standing on right there. I'll actually transition that side and do that. So I'm gonna do the whole bottom of the boat, hull sides, everything with this notch trowel. But as of right now, we just get a little bit farther. And my other camera, you know, I'd like to have a better angle for this, but the camera, kind of the wind's blowing, as you can see, and it kind of moved it around. But you can see how I kind of stack that fairing compound up on that chine edge right there, and then I come back and smooth it. So it's actually a little bit proud in each direction. So as I get in there and start sanding, I'll actually sand all that down. But that's kind of all we get done here. And then as you can see, I come back and clean up everything. You can see the little scrapers there. That's my 2-inch and my 3-inch radius scrapers that I started this project with. I just keep cleaning them up. And then there's the little spreader. That's actually a little spreader that I got from Home Depot or somewhere. But that's kind of the deal here. So I just use a little acetone, clean up all the tools, everything cleaned up nice, so it'll be ready to go next time around. So once again, last thing is we're getting really close to getting 1,000 subscribers, and I'll be putting more out there about doing a boat, the giveaway for the boat plans. And I hadn't forgot, and I am committed to do it. So I'll figure out how to do that lately. But you know, this is what she looks like under the lights, and it's all done. So come back and check us out later. Appreciate it. Meh.